Hello, welcome to episode 31 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. I'm Rosina. Hello, how are you? You alright? I'm okay. I wasn't waving at you just then, sorry, I was waving at my boy. He's over there on the sofa, which is why I'm in a different place. He's off school because he's poorly and I don't want to leave him on his own. So he is watching Paw Patrol with his headphones on. And I'm sat here talking to you.
Yeah. I'm watching Blaze now.
Oh, Blaze, sorry, yes. Not Paw Patrol. Anyway, let's get on with it. Episode 31. Oh, sorry, I might turn that down. Let's turn that down. Let me turn off mine. Well, yes, it has been a fortnight full of crochet and I'll show you what I've been up to, and it has been a fortnight full of illness. Hooray! Which is why this one's off. At the beginning of the week my husband was off, and all of last week, every single day of last week, my eldest son was off school with the same thing, but it hit him hardest of all, and it hasn't really hit me that much. Last week I felt a bit peculiar for a couple of hours and then that was it. So anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's crack on. I do feel a little bit weird because I'm in a different place and I've got a child eavesdropping, earwigging. I was going to say earwigging. That's wrong, isn't it? Where have I said that before? I don't know. Right. So I've got one whip, I think. I've been playing around with a lot of swatches recently for different designs and stuff, so I haven't got many big things on the go, but I've got one thing that is like a fidgety project, and I thought actually I'm near the end now, so I may as well get it finished, and that's this. Do you remember a few episodes ago I was doing a granny stripe, just a plain granny stripe. Hang on, more tangled. Well, I think when I last talked about this I'd done probably about that much or so, and because it wasn't a very exciting thing to look at, I didn't bother showing you again, but I've finished it now, finished the main body of the granny stripes, and I'm just working on the border. So it's that wide and it's a rectangle, so it's that long, and in that episode I think I told you how many I chained to get this width, but if that was 123, or if it wasn't 123, it's about that, and it's just a granny stripe. It's this is, oh, it's over there, 4 balls of double knit acrylic. I've used, let me just show you how much is left. That much is left out of 4 balls. So maybe I could have got another row in. Was that one row, do you think? I'm not sure. I'm glad I stopped where I did. I did however many rows, that was nearly 4 balls, and then I went around the edge. The edge has got granny clusters going into the chain spaces down the side, just so then I'd have a neater edge to work into for these trebles. And you probably recognise it because I've done this before, but in a big granny square, and I'm doing the same thing, a rainbow border. Not for any particular reason, because I'm not a very rainbowy person, not really. I like colour, you know I like colour, but in real life colour doesn't feature very highly sort of in my house or in my wardrobe or whatever. So I sort of release the colour urges in blankets like this, and then they get put to one side and I don't know what to do with them. But it's just my sort of, it's my inner, I don't know, my inner colour explosion fighting to get out via crochet. But I think I've got 6 more colours to go, I think, potentially. And then I'm going to do a border on it, which will be slightly jazzy, and I will show you when I've done it, whenever that may be. So that's what I'm working on at the minute, and it's nice, a nice bit of mindless crochet. After last week, when the other one was off, I did a lot of swatching and a lot of thinking about how to structure. Sorry, there's some crinkly in my pocket. How to structure, I think it's a chocolate bar. How to structure like different shapes of things in different stitches and blah blah blah. I did all that last week. So this week I just want to do something plain and easy. But having all this sickness means I need something that isn't taxing. So therefore I haven't actually done any of the work I'm supposed to be doing. As in drawing up a chart for the emergence of spring so I can release it as a pattern. It's now been like over 3 months since the magazine it was in was published, so I'm allowed to publish it myself now, but I want to do a chart. It's beyond me in my current mental state, as is a chart, maybe not a chart, a video for, and the written pattern for this one, which I'm now going to show you. I don't care if I haven't written out yet, I'm just going to show you anyway. This shawl will be released by me, it's not been in a magazine or anything like that. It is, I can't decide whether it's the naughty little sister or the naughty older sister of a shawl that I've just had published, which I'll show you in a minute. But this is the shawl that I've been teasing you with for ages. Let's try and get you a better view. It's a crescent shawl with a jazzy border. And it's sort of like brioche, as in knitted brioche, and this is the crochet version, but what it is interlocking crochet in a kind of basic form, because there's no sort of, no turns, no patterns, it's just lines. And one of the reasons why I haven't written this pattern up yet is because of this border. But I've already written up a different version of it, so I've got a basis on which to work from, so it's not like I'm starting from scratch. It looks like this on the other side. And then, so you could have it either way depending on your mood, but it is supposed to be this way as the front. And yeah, it's got all these pointy bits. So I haven't written that up yet, but I think what I want to do is get it written up, get it tech edited, and then I'm looking for people to test it, I think, because it's sort of, it's not a simple pattern, but it's not like the most difficult pattern in the world either. So if you're interested in testing, if you could give us a shout, then let me know. And if you could email me, I think that would be the best way of getting in touch with this. Either you can send me a message on Ravelry or email me at zeensandroger@gmail.com, and that would be amazing if you wanted to test it, but I'm not looking, I don't think it'll be ready for about a month. So you're looking about maybe mid-June to the end of June, I'm looking for pattern. So yes, and that is a naughty sister, the naughty sister of You could probably do a load of different colours in there as well, not just a couple like I've done. It's the naughty sister of this one. So this one's just a triangle shawl. And so you've got the main body with the stripes going one way and the border going the other way. So therefore it's called One Way or Another. Which reminds me, I need a name for the other one. Now I could go the route of Blondie songs, or I could go the route of songs that have way in their title. So, for example, My Way, which I didn't really like, or There's No Other Way, which is a song by Blur. But there is another way because there is two shawls, so I don't know if that one works. And I can't remember off the top of my head, like what Blondie song, Atomic, I don't, Heart of Glass, don't fit, I don't know. Anyway, so this one has just featured in issue 102 of Inside Crochet magazine, and literally it came out yesterday, Thursday, and I went to the shops this morning and got a copy because they I didn't receive a complimentary copy. Like if you have a design featured in a magazine, quite often you get a copy free of charge just because you've been in it, which I think it's like, well, it's like Christmas. It's very exciting when you get that in the post, but this time around I didn't get one. It's this, which has got a fabulous granny kimono by Katie Jones on the front, which I think is super snazzy. That's my one there. Actually, I have to say that there are quite a few good patterns in it this time. Sometimes I get a copy and I think, no, I wouldn't make any of those, even if you know they're good or you like them. But actually, some of these I'm like, oh wow, because you know there's that jumper by 11 Handmade which has become really popular. I think it was chosen as the #1 pattern last month on lovecrochet.com. 11 Handmade on Instagram. I can't remember the name of the jumper. Goldenrod jumper with the puff stitches going down. Well, the same designer has done a shawl in a similar kind of format to one of her other designs with puff stitches going off in different directions using short rows, and I think that it's quite a complicated pattern, but it looks stunning. And I've lost the page with my pattern in it. Oh right, yeah. There's a couple of articles I want to read in here as well about using stitch. There's one about using stitch dictionaries, which I think might be quite interesting, but I haven't read it yet. I quite like that top, but I would never make it. Not for myself, because Ruffles and me we don't go. And there's lots of other things as normal, but here is mine. And this picture, and this picture, they're all of the wrong side of the shawl. And this picture, you can't actually see really the detail of the contrast between the border and the main body. This is the picture, this is the side that they've shown. So arguably, yes, you can wear it either way. You can wear it like that and it looks nice. But this is interlocking crochet, so that you've got the angles going the opposite direction, the lines going down here and across there. That's what you want to see. Whereas here, they're just more lines going the same way. And what's the point of doing all that interlocking crochet when you could just like do like trebles here and then single crochet there or whatever? You don't need to go to the trouble of doing interlocking crochet to see that kind of design. So yeah, it would have been nice to see a sort of a more detailed picture of the right side, but I'm not going to dwell on it. So I'm just going to show you guys instead so you get to see it, and then when I'm on Instagram every now and again I'll just post a picture of it the way I like it to look. So yeah, and interlocking crochet is kind of addictive, I have to say. I really like the way it works. You with the border you work in 2 colours at the same time. Like you'll go and you'll do 1 row and you'll leave your yarn over there, and then you'll pick up your other yarn and do that row, and then you go back and you do it, so you're doing yarn A, yarn B, yarn A, yarn B. And I really like the way it's quite rhythmic, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. And also once you get into the swing of it, it's a good mindless project as well, because there's no weird angles, there's no weird pattern you have to follow, it's just literally straight rows. So it's a really nice one to do, and in 3 months' time I'll be able to release it as an independent pattern. And when I do that, I'm going to do a video to go with the pattern, a private video to put on YouTube for people that have bought it, rather than a public one, because that'll be just giving away my secrets. So that's a shawl, and I made this. I think I made this in, I don't know, February I think I made it. And I made it for issue 100, but it got bumped, and then it got bumped again. So I'm really pleased it has finally made an appearance. And I'm just wondering if there's anything else I could show in this magazine. Well, there's lots of things, to be fair, lots of things. So done that. Let me just get my list. Oh gosh, I've done loads of stuff over there as well. But it's my jumper. I finished my jumper. If you're on Instagram, you would have seen that I posted a picture of me wearing it. I should put it on really. Hang on. It's very, very fluffy. Like super fluffy, and I feel like a bit of a Yeti. This is my Yeti going to a party costume. It's quite sort of, there's a lot of bulk here. There's a lot of bulk going on here, which I don't need in my life. And my angel wings didn't really transpire into much. Like, it would have been good if they'd come down to here, because then that would have been really deliberately angel wingy and not just like an extra wide sleeve. But when I showed you last week and it was about this wide at this point here, it looked enormous and I was really concerned. I thought it was going to be huge, but actually I mean, I know now, but not that I'm going to frog this and start again, not in a million years. But I could have gone super wide and that would have looked really good. But so there's the sieve sleeve. I didn't really think much about the stripes there, and I've gone just round and round in single crochet for the cuffs, and it's not 3/4 length, not at all. It comes to here, which is fine. And it's the same, the back stripes are the same look. They're too close together. I was a bit annoyed about that. I mean, this is very much an experiment, wasn't it? It was very much an experiment. And it's kind of worked. And you can look in the photographs. I can kind of make it look better than it does in real life. What do you reckon? Is it too bulky? Too much around here? Maybe I should have done some shaping, but I didn't. This was literally just straight down. Straight down there. If I'd come in a bit, then I would have got rid of some of this excess. And I don't know if these lines stopping here kind of focusing on the boobs too much. And then just around the bottom, I did go in a little bit. bit of single crochet all the way around there as well, just round and round and round. And then doing some decreases to try and bring it in a bit. Bring it in a bit so that it wasn't completely, you know, Michelin Man. I will wear it. It's just that I feel a bit self-conscious in it. And I'm not sure, because it didn't exactly go to plan, you know, didn't turn out as fitted in the body. I think it's slightly too big in all areas apart from the sleeves aren't wide enough. They could be bigger down here. That might have actually taken away the issue of all of this. I don't know. It might have added more. But it's an interesting experiment in how jumpers are constructed, I suppose. And I know more than I did before I started it, so. But I'm going to take it off because it's mega hot. Arguably, that is a unique pattern. I think potentially, but it has potential to become an independent design of mine if I can teach myself how to size garments. I don't know how to do that in a minute, so if this becomes a design that I sell, it's not going to be anytime soon, because if I don't know how to do something, I shelve it for quite a long time before I sort of slap myself around the face and go, look, just do it, you can do this, just do it, sit down and do the job you need to do. It takes me a long time to work myself up, especially when it's like, I think this is a bit complicated for me. I couldn't even, like, I was trying to write down how I was doing certain things, and the mohair, and actually this main grey is actually alpaca, but it's hairy, and I don't even know where I was sticking my hook half the time. So if I were to make this again, I'd have to make it in a different yarn and be really sure about the construction of it rather than just making it up as I go along. Anyway, yeah. I had a tidy up recently, and actually I think that's going to help me. Like, once the kids, this half term this coming week, and once we all go back to normal, I'm going to sort myself out, because that really helps with that kind of disorganisation. I tidied my area the other day, and I worked out exactly what I had on my list of things to do that were important and what weren't, and what I could just do for fun, and at what time I could do them, to try and become a bit more proactive. Because at the moment I'm starting a lot of things, and I'm even telling you guys about it, and then not actually doing what I said I was going to do. So I want to start soon sorting myself out, and maybe not breaking promises. Yeah, I'm going to get Holy Smokes 2 out soon. Psh. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Oh, I was going to show you let me show you this first, before I show you what my new stuff is. Oh no, it's just not with it at all. I made another bag because I needed to film a tutorial for this net market bag. There's the bottom, and I started filming this on Monday, and you just know when it's not going well when you keep on having to press stop and then do the same thing, like film the same thing 5 times, and then you start to get really frustrated. But having repeated it several times over and getting annoyed, I was looking at it going, I'm sure there must be an easier way of doing this. This is ridiculous. Why am I doing it like this for? And literally it pinged into my head, and I just went, oh, I could change all this and make it so much easier. So that's what I did. It's a free pattern on my blog. It's a net bag, which I've talked about quite a lot of the time, right at the beginning actually, when I first started doing this this video, this vlogcast thingy, I think like episode 2 or 3 I was making one of these. But I made that in the old way, and again I didn't question the construction of it. It was only filming it and breaking it down into all those sections did I question it and go, this is stupid. And I had like rounds of increases and stuff like that, where all I needed to do was actually make an extra increase on the bottom so that I had enough chain spaces around to work into. Whereas before I had like 3 rounds at the beginning and it wasn't enough chain spaces to make a decent sized bag, so I was increasing somewhere up here, and all I needed to do was make the increase here so I had the correct number of chain spaces to begin with. And then you don't have to fanny about at all up here and it's all lovely and straightforward. So I've changed all that, and it's all, I've got a YouTube video and I've got the written pattern on my blog. So and also it fits a heck of a lot of stuff in it. It might not look like it. I think a couple of people commented a while back saying it was like a really small bag. It's not, it just stretches out big. It's a fly, can you hear that fly? Right, new stuff. New yarn. This is a birthday present from my sister. It's La Bien Amie. I don't know where she got this. I haven't asked her. Did she get it at Edinburgh? I was in Edinburgh with her the whole time. Well, no, we weren't. I did actually split off with both my sisters at one point. Went, I'm going over here because they were looking at something and I wanted to look at something else. So I went off. So whether or not she bought it at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival when I wasn't looking, I don't know. But it's I said I wanted more, and now I've got it for my birthday. This one though is a single, merino singles. I've never used a single ply yarn before. I've never used it before, so I don't know whether or not I can incorporate it with one of the twisty ones, like just a normal merino 4-ply or whatever. I'm sure I could. But yes, I'm curious about using this because I like things that I've not tried before. This is called Pinku Merino Singles, 100% merino. It's very pink, but I really like it, and it goes with a lot of the other stuff I've got in my cupboard now. I've almost got, I could do a fade. Like mostly it's pinks and greens. So I could do a fade from greens to pinks, and I think that would look quite nice. But not anytime soon. I don't have to use them straight away just because I've got them. And then my other thing, that was a birthday present from one of my sisters, and a birthday present to myself, because I got some birthday money, was these scissors. Boom. Star scissors. They were quite pricey. They were £15, but you didn't have to pay postage, and I wanted them, and I thought this is the exact sort of thing that you use birthday money on. I could have been sensible and bought it on something sensible. I don't know what, but these are frivolous and I bought them because I wanted them, and I have to say that I've not been using them in an everyday sort of capacity for like snipping yarn, because they're probably better for embroidery, because when you try and snip yarn, oh no, that almost went in my tea. When you snip yarn, it kind of, the scissors push the yarn out of the blades, so I think the yarn's too fat for them. But they're very Instagrammable, but they're not suitable for yarn, unfortunately. But I do like looking at them. They're quite stiff as well, but it doesn't matter. They look good. But I'll put all the links to everything in my notes, and if you want, you can grab yourself a pair. I think I saw a pair on Etsy before I bought those. I was like can I get them cheaper? Which I know is awful because I bought them from somebody who's quite local and who I've met before. So I'm supporting a local artist in buying them. So that's really good. But I admit to looking elsewhere first to see if I could get them cheaper. And there were £9 from a Canadian retailer, but the shipping was obviously ridiculous, so they would have been about 25 quid. So if you're in Canada, then they were £9.60 on Etsy. Somebody else was selling them. That brings me on to the dodgy bag Mal that is being run by Crochet Luna and Little Drops of Wonderful. And that's Ali and Claudia and Ali, who you probably know. So this is my dodgy bag. I've got two, and it is dodgy because I haven't ironed it properly, and my things are skewy. Look at that obviously popped out. I didn't pin that down very well, and that's a good amount of dodge. Same on the other side, nice bit of dodge, nice bit of dodgy sewing going on there. And yeah, I haven't done any top stitching. I did top stitching there, but not there. I'm not getting the sewing machine out just to do that. And it's got green lining, and I wish I'd done this bit green now. I think it would have looked much better if that was green there, it would have looked better.
Can I take this from the plug?
No. You can stop watching if you like. You can turn it off.
No.
It's massive as well. It's huge. But that's good because a lot of the bags I make are too small for real projects. This is a good size bag for real size projects. I mean, if you look at that, you could fit loads of those in there. It's like a 3 or 4 skein project, isn't it? Oh no, you could make a whole jumper. This is a jumper size project bag. I am certain of that. So that's my first one. And I don't bother with handles because is that not just a handle? That is a suitable handle, isn't it? Or is that just laziness? Laziness on my part. So that's my first bag, and my second bag is just, no, I haven't boxed it or anything like that. It is just a bag with flamingos on it, and I've had this flamingo fabric for years. And it's just a drawstring bag. I mean, it could be a project bag or it could be a bag for anything, isn't it? I might take it on holiday and put stuff in it. That's what you do with a bag, innit? Put stuff in it. I was umming and ahhing about using this fabric for all sorts of things, and I'd get it out. Every few months I'd get it out and I'd go, I'm going to make a crochet hook case with that, or I'm going to make, what else? I was going to make a pair of shorts, which I did do. I had a different colour. I got some stuff with blue on the background, not turquoise, and I made a pair of shorts with it. And every few months I get it out and I'm going to make this and I'm going to make that, and then I never do. And so this time round I was like, I'm going to use it. And I think it's fab. I bought it from Fabricland, which is a chain of shops in the UK, mostly in the south. I don't think they've branched further north than London. And they haven't, the nearest one to me is Bristol, which is an hour and a half away. Just under an hour and a half. Or Southampton, which is 2 hours away. And I used to work in the Southampton branch when I was a teenager. I didn't buy this when I was a teenager. I bought this like 2 or 3 years ago. But they have really cheap fabric, and so much as well. There's loads of it, and all the haberdashery and whatnot. But I always, if I can, I'll find a good excuse to go there and buy like a shed load of fabric. Some of it's really good quality. It's like 100% cotton, and it's sort of dressmaking rather than quilting. I don't think I've ever done like quilting fabric. But for dressmaking, it's brilliant, nice and cheap. So if you mess it up, it's not too much of a big deal. And I'm just going to consult my notes for episode 31 because I haven't actually looked at them. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yes, couple of things. Etsy, I put all my patterns on Etsy as well as Ravelry. Don't know what difference that's going to make. So far nobody's found any of the patterns on there or bought them. So I guess perhaps I should turn my marketing brain on and do something about that. But I just figured it might mean that more people find me. But it's just the same patterns that are on Ravelry. Which, where do you buy your patterns, from Ravelry or Etsy? Or somewhere else? What's your favourite place to buy online patterns and why, please? If you could tell me, that would be awesome. I'm just curious, it's for no other reason other than curiosity, and it might help me and how I sell patterns. So that's that. I put those on Etsy, including a gingham bow pattern that I did for Inside Crochet magazine last summer. It is a headband with and the pattern is for the gingham bow, the crochet gingham bow, and two little mini bow, a pattern for a mini bow. Hello. For hair slides, hair clips. What are they called? I call them hair clips, but I think people call them barrettes or something. I don't know. So yeah. So that's a new pattern online, and I put that on Ravelry and Etsy for sale. It's only like, it's less than £2. And next to go up is going to be a C2C blanket that's upstairs, and I'll show you next time. And I'll show you next time because then I'll probably have it online for sale then. There's no point me telling you about it now if it's not on there. But that's the next one because it is. I'm slowly working through all of that kind of stuff, like how many designs I can. I've got a list somewhere. How many patterns I've got to release. Oh, I did tick that one. So yeah. Like Emergence of Spring needs to go up as well as a few other ones. But yeah, that's it now. I'm going to go. Thank you very much for spending some time with me. I hope that was okay. I've been distracted, so I'm sorry if that's made a difference. But I will see you again next time. Thank you very much. Cheerio. Goodbye.